What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this Photoshop tutorial we're going to keep on going with the menus, and we're going to work with the type menu for this video. You can think of this menu as type or text, whatever you want to think of it as, but we're going to be breaking down every single option that's in this menu and every single sub option, let you know what it means and what all these commands actually do. Before we get into it, if you're new to the channel and these videos help you out, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. Also, if you got any questions, put them in the comment section below. And with that, let's get right into it. So the first thing, more from Adobe Fonts. When you click it, it just brings you to Adobe Fonts website, and this is where you can choose what fonts you want. You'd pick a family right here, and it's got different variations for each text. And if you want that specific text, you just click activate font. And once you activate them, you can access them from Photoshop. Next, we got the panels section, and you got 5 panels in all. I have them all over here. The type panels set up on this side. You can arrange them however you want, but when you click those, all it does is open up whatever panel you clicked on. And the difference between the panels, the character panel is for your font, the size, kerning, spacing, and you got some open type options down here also. And then once you got all the settings you like and tweaked it how you want, then you can save it and it'll come to your character styles panel. You can add it, click this button right here and it'll add it. And then it's like a preset, you have it saved. Next is the paragraph panel. It's just your paragraph options. It's got text alignment, some spacing and margin stuff. So this is just setting up the paragraph how you want it to look. And then you got the paragraph styles panel. This works just like character styles where you save a preset, but it's the paragraph options. Then last but not least, we got glyphs. Glyphs have a lot of different language letters, alternate letters, got some symbols and stuff in here. And this is going to be different for each font that you choose. Some of them might have none, some of them could have up to 65,000 glyphs. Next, we got anti-alias. And all anti-aliasing is smoothing of jagged edges in digital images by averaging the colors of the pixels. So all these are just different types of anti-alias. We don't have to break down each one. Just basically they all do kind of the same thing in a different way. After that, we got orientation, horizontal or vertical. This is just for if you want your text to be going sideways or up and down. After that, we got open type. Now, open type is grayed out right now. Now, in order to make this clickable, you're going to have to find a font that has open type option. And if you scroll down in the properties panel of that type layer, you'll see some stuff down here. You got standard ligatures, alternates, other type of ligatures, swash, stylistic alternates. It's got a lot of different options. If some of these are clickable, then that means it has open type. So you can come back up to the type panel and go to open type. And we don't have to break down what each one of these are. These are just different types of alternates and ligatures you got here. So if they're grayed out, then that means whatever font you have selected doesn't have open type options for these. Like, so this one doesn't have discretionary ligatures or swash, ornaments, none of that stuff. And we don't have to go through what each one of these means. They're just different types of open type. Next, we got the extrude to 3D command. And when you click this, you can either switch to a 3D workspace, and then all it does is make it 3D. And you can play around with some of these settings if you want, but honestly, I wouldn't even mess with any Photoshop 3D stuff unless you have an older version of Photoshop, because a lot of the 3D stuff they're discontinuing. So I'd recommend just using Adobe Dimension or the Substance apps that Adobe has. They're a little more expensive. Adobe Dimension comes with the Creative Cloud package. So if you got that, then you have some 3D stuff available to you. After that, we got Create Work Path. A work path is a temporary path that appears in the Paths panel and defines the outline of an object. And this is vector, so you can see the layer in the Paths panel. This is a work path. And with a work path, you can edit the anchor points if you want. You just have to come get a pen tool or a selection tool. And if you get the direct selection tool, you can edit each anchor point. Next, we got convert to shape. And this is a little bit different. It's still a vector object, but it's a shape. It's not a work path, right? So you can see here, it's got the shape icon for this layer. It's not a work path, it's a shape. You could save this as a shape if you want, and then it'd be in your shapes panel later on if you need it. But same thing with the shape, you can also edit the anchor points with the direct selection tool. Next, we got Rasterize type layer. So all this does is same thing as if you're rasterizing a smart object. It just turns it into a pixel layer. You can't type over it. You can't change the type after you do this. It's basically, think about it like burning it into a blank layer. It's just an image. You can erase part of it. You can color it different, do whatever. And you can see here in the properties panel, it says pixel layer now. That means it's a raster image. Next, we got convert to point text. If you come back into the menu, it's going to say convert to paragraph text. So it's like a toggle between the two. The difference between paragraph type, which is what we're looking at now, this is paragraph type. Point text, the text is going to start from the point, wherever I put it. Okay, and then it's just going to go out from both ends. It's a little bit different than paragraph type, where you can type multiple words and it's going to go left to right. So just choose whichever one you want. They both have their pros and cons. After that, we got warp text. And it brings up this window. You can choose from one of these presets. Let's just choose an arc. And then you can tune the settings. You can make it horizontal or vertical. Adjust the bend. And then adjust the horizontal and vertical distortion. When you're done, click OK, and that's warping the text. Next, we got match font. This, you can match fonts that appear in your images or photos and find what font it is. Font preview size, it's just making it smaller or bigger for the preview when you click on here and it shows the font. This is the preview size on the right. So all that does is make it smaller or bigger. Language options. Most people don't have to worry about this unless you're typing in other languages. But most of the people will probably be just using English or Spanish, maybe French. But this has things like East Asian, Middle Eastern, Arabic, Hindi, Farsi. You can also change which direction the words go in, left to right or right to left, because some languages go right to left. Moving on, we got update all text layers. This is when you open a document containing text layers from older versions of Photoshop and you need to update it. This is what you'd click. Manage missing fonts. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you're missing any fonts, this is where you'd come. Paste Lorem Ipsum. This is a placeholder text. It's been like the industry standard for placeholder text for the longest time. This is set by default, so you probably don't have to worry about it. But if you get the type tool and just click down once, this is Lorem Ipsum. It's just words that pop up so you can visualize what a document will look like with filled out text in paragraphs. And last but not least, we got load default type styles and save default type styles. Obviously, if you're going to load them, you're bringing them in. If you're saving it, then that means you're saving it as the default type style. So that about does it for the type menu in Photoshop. Make sure to comment down below. Let me know if you got questions or if you got some suggestions on video topics. Make sure to do that. Also, if this video helped you out, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.